I think we can start. We've waited a few minutes for others, and now I'm going to share my screen. So give me a moment, and now you should see my screen. Okay, so those of you who haven't downloaded our software yet, please visit Giant.com. Giant.com. And click download. The manual is accessible at manual.giant.com, and you can click here. And during the whole webinar, I advise you to follow the steps that I do and help yourself using the documentation once in a while. Giant add-ons section is probably the most important one, so you can expand this and show all the description of commands, triggers, variables, etc. for each of the add-on. Okay, so let's close it. And this is Giant Studio. This is Giant Studio, and let's start. Let's create some UI automation. For example, I want to automate a simple desktop app notepad. Type in something, and this is easy. I'm going to use a program command, and of course the name of the program, which is notepad in our example. And using keyboard command, I'm going to type in hello. So in order to launch this script, you can click View, Add-ons. You can click Debug, Run, and F9. You can use this shortcut, and I'm going to use this shortcut a lot in this webinar. Or you can click this play button here. So let's just click here. And as you can see, the hello is inserted here correctly. So now I want to show you how to type in some sentence containing spaces. So let's type in some sentence. For example, hello, my dear programmers. And select the whole sentence and click here. This is our special character, triple quotes, which is needed if we want to have spaces. So let's press F9 to launch the script. And as you can see, everything works perfectly. So I want to increase the font size. So how do I do it? I click Alt. And as you can see, some of the letters are underlined. And if I want to click increase the font size, I need to open Format. So O is underlined, so I click O. Then I want to open Fonts, and F is underlined, so I click F. And now, if we want to increase the font size, we can just double press Tab and insert some number, for example, 30, and then Enter. So let's do exactly the same here. Keyboard, Alt, OF, Tab 2, for example, 10, and Enter. So this time we've used these special characters. And this character is accessible by clicking. Let me expand the giant window, okay? And this character is accessible by clicking here from the menu, or you can use a shortcut Control plus opening angle bracket. So what it means that we want to press Alt key and not write Alt word. This time, OF, it doesn't make a difference because we can either press O or click or write O. So it's the same. Okay, so let me close it and check this out. F9. And the font size is changed. Okay, so let's close it. And now I'll show you how to use variables in Giant. So let's create a variable. Variables in Giant start with this special character heart sign that you can access by clicking here or using shortcut Control plus 4. So size, let me initialize this variable with 30, and here, instead of 10, we're going to have size variable. So let's try this out. F9. And the font size is changed. Okay, so now what should we do if we want to increase the font size multiple times? We need to use a for loop. So let's use a for command. From 10 to 90, I will explain it later. Step 20, and end the block and 4. And here I like to insert tab because it's because the code is formatted nicely. So in this for loop, the size variable will be created. So we can remove this line. And size variable will be initialized with 10 from 10, and it will be increased by 20 with each iteration of the for loop. And the for loop will stop when the size variable will reach 90. So let's press F9 to launch the script and see what happens. Okay, it works. So let's close it. And now I'm going to show you how to declare procedures in G1ANT. Procedure is a block of code that you can access multiple times in your robot script. And so we can do this way. Procedure, I'm going to call it change font and procedure. And here, we can just copy this line and insert it here. And in order to call this this line of code, we need to use a call command. So let's try this. Let's press F9. Everything works the same because variables in G1ANT are global. So this size here is also present here in this block. Okay, so now I'm going to show you parametered procedures. So let's create a parameter for this procedure. For example, font size, and the default value of 10. And here will be font size variable, font size. So what it means that we want this value of size variable to be in the font size variable here. So this value will be here. We want to access this parameter, and font size variable is created here. So it will be the same. Let's press F9 and find out. Okay, let's close it. Now I'm going to show you that we can do exactly the same at any place in our program. So let's call this procedure change font and use font size and insert some number, for example 50. So we want to change the font size to 50. So let's do it and find out. F9. Yeah, so now it's smaller. It's 50. I'll show you that it's a 50. So let me close it. And now how to access the default parameter. We can just remove this, and the font size should be 10. Yeah, because this is the default value. Okay, so So now I'm going to show you how to use C-Sharp Snippets. Those of you who know how to code in C-Sharp will love the idea to use them a lot in robot scripts. So let's create one. But first, I'm going to show you a dialog command. This is a very handy command, which works this way. We want to open a dialog with the message hello. So let's press F9. And it's just like this. So we can pass a C-sharp snippet directly into the command. So if we want to insert some C-sharp code, we need to use those special macro snippets, macro characters. So we can click here, or you can use a shortcut Control plus opening a round bracket. So of course we don't have to we don't want to have hello here, but some C# code, for example, system date time now. So let's press F9. Okay, and this is it. And and it works correct. Okay, so now we're going to do the same with a variable. So I'm going to call this variable myDate equal to this C# snippet, myDate. And let's see what happens. F9. Okay. So as you can see, it's different. There, we don't have the time here that was previously. So why is that? It's because variables in Giant are interpreted automatically and as some structure. So let's click View, Variables. And as you can see, there's this panel here, which tells us what variables are of what structures and what values that they have. So myDate is of date structure. And date structure contains only date, not the time value in Giant. So we can just convert myDate to be of a different structure. So let me expand this so we can have more, so we can have this character. So let's insert it here. And for example, convert myDate variable to be of text structure. So let's press F9. And and now the time is present and the structure of this variable is text. We can do the same using date time, for example, structure. So convert it to date time, and it's of course structure is date time. Okay, so now I'll show you how to use multi-line C# snippets if you want to have some advanced advanced C# macros. So let me show you how to do this. For example, myDate, system date time now, return myDate to string. Okay, so and make sure that this character is in this character opening special character and closing a special character, that they're in separate lines. So we don't want to have something like this. It have to be in a different line. Okay, so if we want to get this value, this returned value, and a result variable is created automatically. It is always named result. So let's press F9. And as you can see, the result variable is created. So let's use dialog command, result, press F9. and it works perfectly. Okay, so now that you know how to use C-Sharp Snippets, I will get to another automation, uh, Excel automation. I have this folder webinar here, and I have some file data Xlsx. So let's open it. As you can see, there's some data, and we want to migrate those data into another newly created Excel file. So let's just close it. And first, what we need to do, we want to have a path to this file. So let's copy the path to this file, to this folder, which you can do by clicking here and just Control+C. Okay, so let's declare some variable, for example, base path. Base path equal to the path to this folder, and let's create another variable called data file equal to the path to this folder. So base path, and of course the file name of this file, data Xlsx. So this way we can just contain the path to this folder and create the whole path to the data file. Okay, and let's do the same with another file that is missing here, because we want to create this file, so it's not present at this time. And it will be, for example, named data to Xlsx. Okay, now I like to use procedures a lot, so I'm going to create a big procedure containing almost everything. So let's create procedure migrate data and procedure, and call it, of course, here. Okay, so first we want to use Excel commands, and Excel commands are in MS Office add-ons. So let's click View, Add-ons, and find MS Office add-on and select it. So let's close this panel so that it doesn't interrupt us, and you can see that this line of is inserted here, which means that MS Office add-on is loaded and we can use Excel commands. So let's use Excel Open. Excel Open. We want to use this command because we want to open Excel, and we want to open the existing Excel data file. So the first argument is path. We don't have to insert the name of this argument because it's first and it's the default. So we can just insert here the value, not argument and then value, but just value. And also we want to use a result argument. Result argument lets us choose the name of the variable that will store the command's result, which this command will return. And the Excel Open command returns an ID of some Excel, of an opened Excel. So I'm going to name this result variable Excel ID 1. And so we want to open another Excel, but without the name of this Excel, because this Excel file doesn't exist. So we'll have only Excel Open and result Excel ID 2. Okay, and use dialog so that you can know what this Excel ID stores that those variables have inside. So Excel ID 1 and Excel ID 2. So let's run this. Okay, it opened to Excel. As you can see, this is what those variables store. Okay, remove this line; it's not needed. And let's create a for loop. Why do we want to create a for loop? It's because this data file, we want to get values from one row and set values from this row to another Excel file. So we're going to do this row by row. Okay. So there are 5 rows. So we're going to have a for loop I'm going to declare this, to name this variable I, because it's simple and nice. From 1 to 5 and 4. And here, I'm going to have 2 procedures. So as I told you, I like procedures. They're simple, and I like to have the main idea of what I want to do in automation. So I most of the time I just create empty procedures and then fill them with code, but just to get the idea. So procedure get values and procedure, and a similar procedure called set values. So now I can call this procedure here, those procedures, get values, call set values, and of course those procedures will have some parameters. So the parameter name will be row, and it will be I. So so this I will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. With the number of the row that we're currently in, that we're processing. Okay. So let's do it. And of course, add this parameter here, row with the default value of 1, for example. And yeah. So, okay. So let's say that we're in the first row, and the value of I is 1. Then we want to be in the first Excel file. We want to operate on the first Excel. So we need to use Xlsx command, because we want to operate on the first one that have those values. So Xlsx, the name of the ID, which is Excel ID1. And now we can just operate on this Excel. So we want to get value from this row. So let's use Excel get value command. And which row? Row. What is passed here? Row. And call index. No, I'm going to use call name. Call name will be A, and result will be, for example, value 1. So this command will create a value1 variable, which will contain what is in a cell A1. If we're in the first row. So let's do the same with the A, B, C, D, E, F. A, B, C, D, E, F. And we have those values. Okay, here in set values procedure, we'll have we want to operate on the second Excel. So again, let's use Xlsx command. And instead of Excel ID1, we have Excel ID2. And instead of Excel get values, we're going to use Excel set values. It's that easy. Okay, what value do we want to pass here? We want to pass value 1 into this cell, call name A, and that's it. So let's copy this and just do the same with A, B, C, D, E, F. I know I don't like this code, but we're going to use to change it, refactor it later. Use lists. But now I want to show you how to use those easy easy commands. Okay, and here we're going to have we want to switch to the first one. Switch to the first one. Excel save to maybe not save. You don't have to save the first one because it's only yeah, we don't change the first one. So Excel close, and then we want to have Excel switch to Excel to the second Excel, and here we do want to use Excel save, and we want to use Excel close, and we want to specify the path to this file, so it's data to file. So we want to save this file under this name that we specified in this variable. Okay, so let's try this. Let's press F9 and see what happens. Argument row of type gen language is required at 40. So I guess I might have forgot about something. Of integer structure is required. So let's click a row, let's click variables and see what happens. Okay, it's integer. Is those a text? It's okay. And oh, I forgot about the row, a row argument. That's that's funny. Yeah, it's important to have okay, and row should be row. So yeah. Yeah, so let's close it and and run this again. Okay, so it's getting the values and setting the values. Now the Xlsx is saved, and let's see if it is present. It is present. Let's open it, and as you can see, it's here. Okay, so we can close it and delete this. We don't need this file. And now let's refactor this code using a list. So let's add a new robot script, and let me show you how to use lists. Let's declare a variable list and initialize with some values. Element1, element2, element 3. It doesn't it doesn't matter how. Okay, so these special characters indicate that this is a list, and this is the first element, this is the second element, etc. And you can access this by clicking here, accessing it from the menu. And if you want to get the first element, for example, you can use of course dialog list. With the index 1, it's going to be the first element. So remember, use those special characters. Let's press F9 and find out. Okay, element 1, We can do the same with 2, the second element, and the third element. Okay, so click View, Variables, and as you can see, there's a list structure, and these are the values. Okay, let's do the same with list create command. So we have list create command. We can specify the type of this list. For example, if we want it to be of text structure, each element to be of text structure, we use type text. And let's use result argument, which will create a variable. Okay, called list. And here we can add some value, for example, element 1. So we want to add element 1 to the list called list. Okay, so click F9, click variables, open variables, and as you can see, this is the first element. We can add more elements, and yeah, it's that easy. Okay, so now that I've shown you how to use lists, we can refactor this code easily, and instead of repeating ourselves, we can just use a for loop. So here, we're going to declare a variable, for example, values. Yeah, using list create, type text, and result values. Okay, so now that we have an empty list, we can add values to those lists. So for call index, from 1 to 6, because we have 6 columns, and 4. We can use this command, and instead of call name, we're going to have call index. Call index. Result value 1. We don't have to have a result value 1 because result argument will have default value of result. So if I remove this, I'm going to have a result variable created with another name. It will be, the name of this variable will be result. So let's use a list add command, and we want to add to the list values. We want to add result. So Xlsx value will create a result variable containing what is in this cell, in a row, and call index. Okay, so now we can just remove this. That's great. And here we can use for command, call index, and from 1 to 6 and 4. And of course, Xlsx set values. Yeah, because we want to access some element in values list. So to do this, let's click here and insert call index variable. So yeah, so call index, we're in, for example, First column. So we want to have a first column, first row, second column, second row, those cells. This is a value that we want to set. And then call index is going to be, of course, call index. And that's it. I think, no, of course, row. Row is needed. Yeah, row is needed. Row. Okay. So let's see what happens if I run this. Okay, so let's open it and see if the values are inserted correctly. There are. So let's close it. Let's remove the file, and this time let's use another add-on. So let's click View Add-ons, and instead of MS Office, let's use Xlsx. So this time, instead of operating on Excel application, we're going to operate directly on Excel files. So you don't have to even have Excel application on your computer. You can just use Xlsx add-on. Okay, so now we don't have Excel commands. We have Xlsx commands. And they're a little bit different from Excel commands. So here, instead of, we have to specify the path to this file. So because we operate on files, so we have to have have the path to the file. So even if it doesn't exist, we can just click insert the path to this file and use a very nice argument, create if not exist. True. So if we use this argument, the file data to file will be created. Okay, so here there are Xlsx switch commands, so we can use them. And Xlsx, of course, Xlsx close exists, but we don't have Xlsx save. As you can see, it's not bold, so this command doesn't exist, because Xlsx close command saves the Xlsx as file. So yeah, here I want to change this, and here, and let's press F9. See what happens. Press is executed, and as you can see, this green arrow is pointing at lines that are executed at this time. And here you can have the steps that are executed. Yeah. Okay, process has finished, so we can just open this folder and see that the file is created and the values are present. So let's delete this, and we have finished the automation. So we can now create a web automation. Now that we know how to use Excel, yeah, let's do it. So let's click a View Add-ons, and let's use Selenium. We're going to use this add-on because we want to create a web automation. Yeah. So okay. So let's open this folder, And here I have this file update currency. Let's open it. And sorry, there's some random values. Let's delete this. Okay. And this is the template. These are some currencies, and we want to get values from the internet and know what is the value from GBP to USD, from GBP to EUR, from GBP to AUD, etc., and then from PLN to USD, etc. So we want to fill this column and this column. Okay, so how to do this? Let's close the Excel file. Sorry, let's close the Excel file. Yeah, and remember the first step is probably to get the path to this file. So I like to do it using a shift. So press shift and right click this file, and you have a copy as path. So let's click copy as path, and it should be in clipboard. So let's declare some variable called file path, for example, and this is the path to this file. Okay. So as you know, how I like to do automations, I like to create big procedures containing everything. So let's do this procedure. Fill Excel with online data. Okay, and let's copy this. Yeah, and okay. So first, what do we want to do? We want to get this value, GBP, and we want to get those values. So first, let's get this value and this value. So if we want to get GBP value, we always use Excel Open. This is my personal favorite add-on. View add-ons for Excel. I like Xlsx. Excel MS Office add-on is also nice, but Xlsx is for me nicer. Okay, and here we want to open this file path and get value row first, and call index. I prefer call index to call name, and call index is free because GBP is here. Actually, I know it's a merged cell, but we want here. So call index and a result. We're going to create a from currency variable, and here we want to have Xlsx get value row free, call index 2, and result to currency. And yeah, and then Xlsx close. So so now I'm going to show. Oh no. So now I'm going to show you how to use debugging in Giant finally. Yeah, so you can click here. And as you can see, the red dot is present. Let's see what happens if you click, if you run the script. Yeah, the script stopped. Before it's executed, it executed this line. It stopped. So let's click View Variables, and as you can see, the from currency variable is present. Its value is GBP, but we don't have to currency yet. So let's press F9. You can click debug and run step F10. So let's do it. And as you can see, we're in the second line, and the to currency variable is present, and its value is USD. And okay, so let's click debug, and you can use interactive to use some commands, some commands. Yeah, during the the script, we're in a debugging mode. So let's press enter, and yes, the dialog is opened. Then we can do something like this, for example. So let's just copy this and paste it here. And instead of row 3, we're going to have 4, for example. And see, to currency is USD for this time. So let's press enter, and this time is EUR. So let's close it. Okay, and we can just run the script at any time. Okay, debug, and there's watch, and there are other options like in Visual Studio, but this is probably the most important one, the interactive. Okay, so if you want to stop the debug mode, you can just click here, or you can run the script. Yeah, you can run the script next. Okay. Okay, let's remove this dot. It's not needed. Okay, and now I think we can open this X-Rates website. So it's open Google Chrome. As you can see, this is my bookmark, X-Rates. I want to use this this website, and okay, and as you can see, it's 21st of August, and my date is also 21st of August. So so we want to open this website. So I've just copied the URL, and here let's use Selenium open. Type, we don't need the first argument. We want to open Chrome browser, and URL with the URL just like this. Okay, yeah, this time it'll be easier like this with a maximized window. Okay. And you don't have to do this because we don't have any spaces here, but I like this link to be blue, so I click here, and now it's colored blue. And now, okay, now that we've opened our website, you can just right click here because we want to have this value. We want to have value from GBP to US dollar, from GBP to EUR, etc. So let's right click this element, inspect, and okay, let me expand this. Yeah, so we're here. This is the element. And if you click here, for example, and you want this element, so you can use this option. Click here, and now it's selected. Okay, so how to access this element? We want this link. So I'm going to copy this link. Because it has this value, and using jQuery, I'm going to have this this value. So jQuery. Oh, not what? Yeah. And I think I didn't. Yeah, it's okay. So so what it means? It means that we want to have values with a have elements with a tag name a and href equal to this link. So it returns a list. So we want to have a first element text. Yeah. Okay. So we have a first element of this list, first returned value, and get this using a text function. You don't have to understand this. This is a jQuery. I like to do this way. You can use I don't know, other ways to access this value. Okay, so let's close it. I've just copied this line, and let's use run script command and paste this script. Yeah. So here we're going to have return keyword. We need this keyword because we want this command to return something. So in the result argument, yeah, we don't have to. We can just have a variable called result. Okay, so frame GBP. Let's change it to from currency because it's GBP in the first section. Okay, and then from to currency is going to be USD, and from GBP will be from currency. Okay. Yeah, and okay. Okay, so let's use dialog command and see what this value will be. So I've just pressed F9. Now it's opening the Selenium Chrome browser. Okay, and this is the value tag. Yeah, so it's 1.2127 something else. Okay, so it's correctly okay, and and we want all of the values. So let's create a loop, a for loop. Okay, so for row from free to okay, and let me show you a very handy command. Sorry, desktop webinar. So when we're here, we have seven rows. So we don't have to remember that there are 7 rows because we want to sometimes you modify the Excel and add some currency there, etc. So let's use Xlsx count rows command here. Xlsx count rows and a result rows number. And here from free to rows number. So why do we have from free to rows number? Let me show you. So from free, it's because we don't have to want to have this blank value or this value. We want from USD, from EUR, etc. So we start from the third row. Okay, so let's close it and see what happens. I guess it's yeah, but we forgot about this. It should be here. It should be here because we want to have two currency value, and instead of row 3, it's going to be a row variable here. Okay. So so let's run this F9. Okay. The first value from GBP to US dollar, then from GBP to EUR should be, yeah, it's the same. Okay, and now I can just use a Control plus F12 shortcut just to not, not finish this loop, that just stop the script. So I use Control plus F12 to stop the script. Click OK, and process was broken. Okay, so now that we know that it works perfectly, we can just, instead of dialog result, use Xlsx set value command. Value should be result, what this command will return, and call index should be 2, and row should be row. Okay, so now when I click here and open this this file is empty. I mean, there is only a template. So let's see what happens if I press F9 here now. And you can see the steps here. Okay, process has finished, so let's close it and find the values here. Okay, yeah, they're inserted. All right, yeah, I forgot. Okay, yeah, this should be in the C column. So, yeah. So sorry. Hmm. Uh, okay. So it should be here, call index free. Okay, let me stop the script, and Japanese yen should be JPY. JPY. Okay. So stop the debug and come back to this file, and sorry for a mistake. Okay. Now it should work correctly. Okay, the second step will be to fill the yesterday column, because in this script we'll fill the today column. So, okay, process has finished. Let's find out if everything's correct. Yeah, it is. Let's delete this. And let's find out how to fill the yesterday column. So to fill the yesterday column, we need to, as always, create some procedures, just to get the base idea of what we want to do. So let's have a procedure called fill today column and procedure, and let's have a similar procedure called fill yesterday column. Yesterday column and I fill column. Handy procedure which will help us fill those block of codes, because those procedures are going to be very similar. Okay, and last procedure will be build X rates link. So why do we need a procedure like this? It's because we want to change the website, change the web page, because we're here. We're in the 21st of August, and we want to be in the yesterday web page. So it should be 20th of August. So let's do this procedure first. Let's add some parameter here. For example, is today true, and the default value of true. And here, let's do a little bit of a C-sharp snippet here. So if is today, we want to have a rate state variable to be of system date time now, and else we want rate state to be yesterday. So sorry, add the days -1 and the if block. Here we're going to have a URL variable equal to this, but instead of date here we're going to have a rate state. But what is needed? We have this. We want to have this date exactly of this this format. So what do? We use toString method, and here we want to have a www year month dd day. So yeah, let's copy this. Okay, and use this variable here. Okay, now just let's use this procedure where we're going to use this procedure here. Call build X rates link. Is today true? So this is the default value, so we don't have to change it. And instead of this, we're going to have URL. Okay, now that it's easy, okay, let's copy this. I mean, maybe cut it and paste it here into fill column, and use this procedure here and here. So what is going to be changed? What is the difference between those two? It's the call index, because when we are in the today column, we're in the third index, in the third column, and when we're in the yesterday column, we're in the fourth column. So instead of 3 here, let's use call index, and here let's use call index variable and set it to call index +1. So I know we don't have a call index initialized yet, but we're going to have it in a moment. So here call index should be 3, right? So here it's 3, here it'll be 4. Nice. And of course here we want to be in a different web page, so we have to use Selenium Set URL. Set URL which we're going to build here. So call build x rates link is today false. Yeah, is today false. Build x rates link URL. Okay, and that's nice. And actually, we can just cut it and paste it here. And of course, call those procedures. And here's Selenium close. So let's press F9 and see if everything's correct. Okay, so it's opening as Chrome, the today website, and it's getting the values, setting the values. Okay, and now it's we're in a yesterday web page, getting values, setting values. Okay, and now process has finished. So let's find out if all the values are present. There are. And now the last step is to fill the PLN section. So percent change is really easy. I think you can do it at home. So based on this cell, you can just calculate the percent change, and it's easy. So let's close it. And we want to have a for loop here. So no, maybe not for loop, but while loop. While loop is easier. So while true, while true, and while. And we're going to change the value of call index. I know it's not present yet, and here. So let's open it again. And you can see that we always end at a call index being here. So if you want to be in a today column again, we need to add 1, 2. We need to add 2 to the value of call index because it's a loop. So here we should add 2. Okay, and of course we need to initialize call index with 1. Why? Because the first call index should be free because we start with free. So yeah, I guess you know what I mean. And the last step is probably to make this while loop not never ending. So here, let's where's get value? Xlsx get value. Oh, right. Okay, it's here, sorry. So we're going to have this also in a while loop. And here, let me open the this file again. You can see that we want to get value from GBP and then from PLN and any other currencies that might be there. So we're in the third, 4, 5, 6. We're in the sixth, etc. So we need to add 3 to this one. it should be, sorry, call, no, I guess, no, it's okay. It should be call index. Sorry. Call index. All right, and yeah, it's because call index is a today column, so it's okay. All right, and now we want to make sure that we don't have any currencies, any more of the currencies that we want to convert from and get values from internet. So, so let's do a C-sharp snippet here. An if block. If string is damn sorry. Okay. Is string is null or empty. Let's see if the from currency is empty, and if it is, we want this while loop to stop. So what do? We of course save Excel and then close Selenium because we don't need to have it. Selenium close and stop sub the script. Silent mode means that you don't have any dialogue opened. So it's just the script is stopped silently. Okay. Oh, it's there. There's also one important thing here. When we call this procedure multiple times, we always open Selenium. So we don't want to have that. We don't want to open Selenium multiple times. So instead of Selenium open, we're going to use a Selenium set URL. So what do we need? We need to have a helpful a helpful variable is Selenium opened, and we're going to use it here. So if Selenium is opened, then we want to use a Selenium set URL. Else, if Selenium is not opened, we want to use a Selenium open, right? I guess it's kind of intuitive, okay? And if and of course we want to change the value of a Selenium open here, so false. Okay. No, sorry, true, because it's opened. All right. All right. So yeah, and here I think we shouldn't have a call index free. No, because it's not. It is already here. Call index is initialized, so we don't want to have it for free. And here we added. Okay, so let's run this and see if everything works correctly. Cannot compile C-sharp snippet. Oh, is sorry. Okay, again. Just a typo. And the last thing is to I'm going to show you how to use triggers in Giant, and it's very easy. Okay, it's getting value from today, getting values from yesterday, and setting those values. Okay, and now we're in a PLN. As you can see, this is changed from today and from yesterday. Okay. Process has finished, so we can just click here and see what happens. Okay, all the values are present, and then I'll show you how nice this script is. So we can add it here, and instead of PLN, for example, have a CAD, which is a shortcut of Canadian dollar, and see what happens. Process executed. Okay, this is the end of this automation, and here you can just add a procedure call procedure change, calculate percent change to fill the third column, the percent change column. Okay, now we're in GBP, PLN, PLN, and finally Canadian dollar. Okay, so let's open it last time. Okay, all the values are here. That's great, and let's close it. And I'll show you how to use triggers. So let's open manual G1ANT.com. Let's open G1ANT add-ons, G1ANT add-on car, triggers, and for example, schedule trigger. This is the easiest one, I guess. I mean, the fastest way to show your triggers. Okay, so let's create some script, for example, dialog. Hello, it works, and save it. Example script, save, and tools, settings. You have this section triggers, so let's click here. There are some of my triggers, but just don't worry, they're not important here. Okay, and now a trigger. Okay, so the name of the trigger is our custom one, so you can have it as you like it. For example, my test. And the task name is a file path. So again, you can just press shift and copy as path. And what is important is the fact that you have to remove the double quotes. So remove the double quotes. And trigger class name is a schedule trigger, and there are arguments that are needed. Okay, so here you're in a manual, and you see that there is some name, some example name. The class is schedule trigger, and current tab expression is an argument that we're going to use. So right click it, add, and here this is the name of the argument. So it's current tab expression, and a value. You can use this website, current tab website, which is very handy. So if I, for example, have a asterisk asterisk asterisk, it means that at every minute should our script be executed. So let's do it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and save our trigger. Okay, and now we should open triggers, all triggers. We should not, sorry, activate triggers, all triggers, and select those we want to have. So my test, not all of them, only my test. Okay, close. Now that I trigger, okay, so yeah, it was automatically. So in a minute, it should be present. The script should be executed. All right, so I think that is everything that I wanted to show you for today. Thank you for listening. Oh my God, so many comments. Thank you. So, do you have any questions for me? Yeah, the script is launched again after a minute. Okay, so so, um, so I think that if you don't have any questions, we can. Thank you all for listening. Thank you. Thank you all. Thank you all for listening. We're going to publish this webinar, and on YouTube you can find our last webinar. It was really similar to this one, and tomorrow we're going to have I'm going to prepare a webinar similar as this one. So if there's anything unclear or I don't know, you can just attend tomorrow. What is the schedule of tomorrow? I think it's 17 o'clock. What is this? No, I mean the program is exactly the same, and it starts at 17 o'clock. The program is the same, the scripts are the same, and yeah, and all the examples. So Thank you. Okay, I think I can end an event right now. Yeah, so thank you again and have a nice day. Bye bye.